This is our Maine Coon kitten, Freyja. We have this empty wall in our living room, and after watching Frank Howarth's video where he built a cat wall, I thought it would be a good use of this space. Freyja loves to climb on our shelves, and I'd rather give her a place where she's allowed to climb. Freyja is only about a year and a half old, so we expect her to get much bigger, as Maine Coons do. With a plan in mind, the first step is to batch out the boards we need. I started with ripping this sheet of 3/4 inch plywood down into strips that would make up the face frames of what I'll call the boxes. I could then move them over to the miter saw and cut these to the lengths I would need. After that, we had a nice little pile of parts. Once all of our pieces are cut, I could move on to cutting the mitered ends for the hexagon frames. I decided to just use dominoes for the face frame joinery. I've never done dominoes before, so this was a good opportunity to learn something new. With all the dominoes cut, we can glue these up. You'll notice I'm not gluing all of the joints. I'm gluing them into two halves. This will come into play in a little bit. I don't know why, but I could not get the math right on these. After a lot of analyzing, I think the saw curve may have been messing with my math, or I'm just not very good at math. Either way, I knew it, and I planned for it. After the glue had dried, I took each half over to the table saw, set my fence, and ran them through to square up the ends. Now they fit together, and I can glue those halves together with no problems. With the face frames completed, I can move on to assembly. I decided to go with the good old pocket hole, partly because I have a pocket hole jig, and partly because Matt over at 731 Woodworks says pocket holes are awesome. that, you walk away triumphant. Back at home, I had planned all along to mount these on a French cleat system because I want to be able to move them around into different configurations. So after some measuring to find studs, and with the wife helping to hold the laser level, we can start screwing the cleat strips to the wall. With the French cleat installed, it's time to hang these up and see if everything is working. Yeah, that's slick. Freyja immediately came to inspect our work. I guess she approves. She's not a small cat, and she will get bigger, thus the rather overstated size of these boxes. I wanted to make sure she had room to move around in them as she grows. Our last Maine Coon was 20 pounds at full growth. Freyja still has a couple years of growth left in her, but these seem good. Now out to the workshop to sand these. I chose to go up to 220 grit, then wipe these down with denatured alcohol to pop any grain, and then sand them up to 320 grit.
Now that I've got this thing sanded up, we can put a finish on it. And I went ahead and did some test samples for the wife. Watco Danish oil in walnut, natural, and then just boiled linseed oil. And I was trying to think of something that would be simple to apply to this, have a decent finish, be safe for my cat, who is ultimately going to scratch this thing all up, probably nibble on it a little bit. I don't want her to get sick if she swallows a piece of this. So something food safe, something that's easy to repair later when she claws it up, and something that still looks decent. And I think what we settled on is we're just going to go with the boiled linseed oil. It's simple, it's easy to use, easy to repair later, and safe for the cat. So boiled linseed oil it is. This is a piece of a carpet remnant that I got off of my local Facebook marketplace for free. Somebody was throwing it out. And it's relatively close to the same color as the carpet that's in my house. I used a big piece of it on a previous project to build a cat scratching cat tree. And I thought maybe I would take a chunk of this and put it in the bottom here and maybe on these two little side shelves just to give Freyja something to lay on or something to grab when she jumps up on it. I can't really put it on the top because if I put one of the other boxes above it, that'll be too much thickness and they won't sit down in the French cleat system correctly. So I think I'm just going to do these two side shelves and the bottom. So let's cut this up and put it in there.
Once completed, back to the living room to hang these in place for good now. And then see if we can get Freyja back in them. It took a little coaxing with treats, probably because they smell different now. Having had these in place for a couple weeks now, Freyja is really loving them. She jumps in them almost every day. She even naps in them. The project turned out way better than I could have expected, and we already have plans to expand on this for Catwall 2.0. So be sure to subscribe to see that video and click the bell icon to be notified of new videos as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.